Have you ever felt dizzy on the spiritual path? Not because you have no faith, but because there are too many voices, too many books, too many rules, too many rituals, too many promises, too many people saying, "This is the only way." And inside you, a quiet fear rises. What if I am doing it wrong? What if I am wasting my life? What if the truth is simple, but I am lost in endless words? If you have ever felt that, you are not alone. The mind can drown in scripture the way a traveler can drown in maps. A map can show the road, but a map cannot walk for you. Tonight we will return to the most living part of the Buddha's teaching, not as a debate, not as a fight between traditions, not as a way to feel superior, as a way to see clearly. Because the Buddha did not come to give people a new identity. He came to help people end suffering. And suffering ends not through decoration, not through fear, not through bargaining with the universe. Suffering ends through seeing the mind, seeing clinging, seeing craving, seeing how we create the second arrow, then walking the path with steady practice. If you stay with this talk, you may feel something inside become simpler, not because life becomes easy, but because your heart stops chasing illusions, and your mind returns to what is real. This is the beginning of freedom. Welcome, dear friends, to Buddha, Peaceful Mind. Thank you for being here. If you feel lost between thousands of teachings and you want to find the heart of the Dharma again, let us walk together gently. The Buddha's teaching begins with one honest fact. There is suffering. Not only the pain of the body, but the restlessness of the mind, the fear of loss, the grief of change, the hunger that cannot be satisfied, the anxiety of trying to control what cannot be controlled. The Buddha did not ask you to pretend this suffering does not exist. He asked you to look at it directly, because what you look at clearly, you can understand, and what you understand, you can transform. The Buddha then offered a second truth. Suffering has causes. It is not random punishment. It is not a curse from the sky. It is often created by craving and clinging, by the mind saying, "I must have this, I must keep this, I must become this, I must not lose this, I must not feel this, I must not face this." Then he offered a third truth. There is an end of suffering, not the end of all pain, but the end of unnecessary suffering, the end of the second arrow. And he offered a fourth truth. There is a path you can practice, a path you can test, a path that does not depend on blind belief. This talk is a return to that path, a return to what actually changes the mind. When people feel lost in Dharma, it is often because the path has been covered by two kinds of fog. One fog is mythologizing, turning the Dharma into supernatural stories that pull the mind outward. People begin to chase miracles, to fear ghosts, to bargain for blessings, to wait for rescue. The other fog is secularizing, turning the Dharma into a social costume, a cultural event, a stage performance, a system of status and titles, a place to be seen, but not to be transformed. These two fogs look different, but they create the same problem. They move the seeker away from direct practice, away from seeing the mind, away from training the heart. The Buddha did not teach the Dharma as a market. He did not teach it as entertainment. He did not teach it as a system to gain power over others. He taught it as medicine. Medicine for greed, hatred, and delusion. Medicine for the heavy mind. Medicine for the heart that cannot rest. Mythologizing often begins with fear. A person is suffering, so they want a powerful protector. They want a holy being to fix life without inner change. They want a ritual to erase consequences while habits remain the same. This is human. The Buddha did not insult this desire, but he offered a deeper compassion. He said, "Do not build your life on superstition. Build your life on wisdom. A clean conscience is protection. Mindfulness is protection. Kindness is protection. Clear understanding of cause and effect is protection. When you live by harm, you become fearful. When you live by deception, you become anxious. When you live by cruelty, your sleep becomes restless." So the Buddha did not promise magical safety. He offered the safety of a trained mind. Secularizing often begins with comfort. People want community. They want identity. They want a place to belong. They want beautiful forms. They want inspiring speeches. These things can be wholesome supports, but they become a prison when they replace practice. If you chant while gossip continues, the mind does not become free. If you bow while pride grows, the heart does not become pure. If you attend ceremonies while hatred is fed daily, suffering remains. The Buddha measured practice by one simple question. Is greed weaker? Is hatred weaker? Is delusion weaker? Is the heart kinder? Is speech cleaner? Is the mind clearer? Forms can support this, but forms cannot replace it. The Buddha gave an image that protects you from both fogs. He said his teaching is like a raft used to cross a river. You build it, and you cross from suffering to freedom. When you reach the far shore, you do not carry the raft on your head. You put it down and walk. This means the purpose of Dharma is liberation, not identity. Not collecting rituals, not winning arguments, not proving you are spiritual. Use the teaching, practice cross, then keep walking with humility. Another image is the finger pointing to the moon. Words can point, books can point, teachers can point, but the moon is your direct seeing. If you hold the finger and never look up, you miss the moon. So we honor teachings as pointers, then we return to practice. Because wisdom is not only information, wisdom is seeing. There is another story that saves many seekers from getting lost in endless philosophy. A person is struck by a poisoned arrow. A healer arrives to remove it, but the person refuses. They demand answers. Who shot it? Why? From where? What kind of bow? The Buddha said, if the person insists on answers first, they will die. The meaning is simple. Do not postpone liberation by chasing endless theories. Remove the arrow you can remove. Stop feeding hatred. Stop feeding addiction. Stop feeding the second arrow of mental suffering. When the mind is calmer, you can reflect more deeply. But first, heal what you can heal now. The Buddha's compassion is not the compassion of granting wishes. It is the compassion of pointing out the path. He said, be a lamp to yourself. Be a refuge to yourself. This does not mean you isolate from others. It means you stop giving away your inner responsibility. You stop waiting for someone to carry you to freedom. You stop outsourcing your mind. A teacher can point. A community can support. A text can inspire. But only you can walk. Only you can practice. Only you can see directly. There is a story that expresses this truth in a way the heart remembers. A merchant visited the Buddha often to listen. He respected the Buddha. But one day, he spoke honestly. He said, "Your talks are beautiful, but they do not change people. I brought friends, and many of us remain the same. Some seem even worse. So why do you keep teaching?" The listeners became angry. They felt offended. They wanted to push the merchant away. But the Buddha remained calm. He asked the merchant a few questions. He said, "You travel with goods, yes?" The merchant said yes. The Buddha asked, "How many times have you walked the road to this city?" The merchant said, "Many times, for years." The Buddha asked, "Do you know the road well?" The merchant said, "Even with eyes closed, I could find it." The Buddha asked, "If someone wants to reach your city, can you tell them the road?" The merchant said, "Of course." Then the Buddha asked a final question. "If you describe the road perfectly, does that mean the person has arrived?" The merchant laughed. He said, "No, they must walk it themselves." The Buddha said, "Exactly, I can describe the road out of suffering. But no one arrives by listening alone. Each person must walk with their own feet." Many people think they must become scholars before they can practice. They feel ashamed if they do not know many texts. They fear they are not qualified. But the Buddha taught ordinary people in ordinary language. He used daily images: fire, water, seeds, tides, breath. You do not need to know everything. You need to practice what you understand. One breath before reacting. One kind sentence. One honest action. One moment of mindfulness. The Dharma is not hidden in the sky. It is in your speech, your habits, your attention, your heart. This is why the Buddha taught in ways that enter daily life. If these reflections are helping you return to the heart of practice, you can stay close to Buddha Peaceful Mind. A quiet subscribe is simply a way to keep a gentle reminder nearby for the days when the mind forgets. Now let us return to the simplest structure of the Buddha's path. 3 trainings: virtue, concentration, wisdom. Virtue means ethical living, not harming, truthful speech, respect, restraint, generosity. When you live with virtue, the mind becomes lighter. A lighter mind can settle. Concentration means training attention, learning to return to breath, learning to see thoughts without obeying them, learning to calm the mind. Wisdom means seeing clearly. Impermanence, suffering, non-clinging. The self as a changing process, not a fixed identity. These 3 trainings work together. Virtue supports concentration. Concentration supports wisdom. Wisdom supports deeper virtue. When people practice rituals without these trainings, they often feel stuck because the root does not change. The Eightfold Path is the detailed map of these trainings. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This path is not a belief system, it is a training system. Right view means you remember cause and effect. You remember impermanence. You remember that clinging creates suffering. Right intention means you choose non-harming. You choose kindness. You choose to reduce unnecessary craving. Right speech means you train your words. No lying, no harshness, no gossip that harms, no speech that inflames. Right action means you live with integrity. Protect life, respect others, be trustworthy. Right livelihood means you reduce harm through work, not perfection, but direction. Right effort means steady practice, not too tight, not too loose. Right mindfulness means you see what is happening in body, feeling, mind, patterns. Right concentration means the mind becomes stable enough to see clearly. This is the heart of the Dharma. Simple, practical, repeatable. The Buddha discovered the middle way. Not indulgence, not self-torture, balanced training. If a musical string is too tight, it breaks. If it is too loose, it makes no sound. Only when it is tuned well does it create music. Practice is like this. Too harsh becomes ego. I must be perfect. Too lazy becomes sleep. I will practice later. Tune the string, gentle and steady. A handful of salt in a small cup of water makes the water too salty to drink. The same salt in a large lake is still drinkable. The salt is pain. The cup is a narrow mind. The lake is a wide mind. Myth and superstition can narrow the mind with fear. Empty ritual can narrow the mind with pride. Real practice widens the mind. Pain still exists, but extra suffering decreases. This is why the Buddha's path is freedom. It grows the lake. In modern life, one of the most important Buddhist practices is guarding attention. The Buddha spoke about guarding the sense doors. This does not mean repression. It means wisdom about what you feed the mind. If you feed the mind endless outrage, the mind becomes angry. If you feed the mind endless comparison, the mind becomes ashamed. If you feed the mind endless stimulation, the mind becomes hungry. If you feed the mind endless fear, the mind becomes anxious. So choose what you consume. Choose what you watch. Choose what you argue about. Choose what you scroll. Attention becomes mind. Mind becomes life. So protect attention as you protect your health. Now let us make the path practical. You do not need to memorize a library. You need a few tools you can use in real moments. Listen to these as small medicines. Choose the ones that meet your life. Practice them. Then the Dharma becomes living, not theoretical. Here is a moment. When you feel lost in too many teachings, practice. Stop collecting and choose one small practice for 7 days. 1 breath before speech. Then observe the result. 1 breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel spiritual confusion, practice. Return to the 4 noble truths. What is the suffering? What is the cause? What would be one step toward the end? One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel the urge to seek a miracle, practice. Ask, what habit is this trying to avoid? Then choose one ethical action and one mindful breath. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel fear about bad luck, practice. Return to integrity. A clean conscience is protection. Speak truthfully and reduce harm today. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you want to bargain with the universe, practice. Turn the bargain into a vow. May I be kinder. May I be more mindful. Then act. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel superior because you know Dharma words, practice. Return to humility. Measure progress by reduced greed and kinder speech, not by knowledge. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel ashamed for not knowing scriptures, practice. Remember, the Buddha taught ordinary people. Practice one small thing today. That is enough. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When rituals feel empty, practice. Make one ritual mindful. Chant slowly with breath. Bow as humility. Then bring that humility into speech. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel pressured by spiritual performance, practice. Return to sincerity. Practice in private. Let character change be your proof. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel pulled into superstition, practice. Ask, does this increase fear and dependence? Then return to mindfulness and right action. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you hear frightening stories about afterlife, practice. Return to what ends suffering now. Breathe and practice ethical living today. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel anxiety about the future, practice. Lengthen the exhale. Choose one useful action. Release what you cannot control. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel guilt, practice. Acknowledge, repair, commit, begin again. Do not punish yourself forever. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel resentment, practice. Put down one stone for 1 hour. Do not replay the story for 1 hour. Breathe and release. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel grief, practice. Honor grief as love. Allow tears. Practice impermanence without numbness. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel envy, practice. Bless the other person silently. Then take one small step on your own path. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel pride, practice. Share credit. Practice generosity. Remember impermanence. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel shame, practice. Separate mistake from identity. Repair what you can. Begin again. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you are tempted to gossip, practice. Pause for one breath. Ask if this helps or harms. Choose silence or kindness. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you want to win an argument, practice. Ask, do I want to win or understand? Choose the sentence that protects truth and kindness. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel restless in meditation, practice. Return to the body. Feel the feet. Label thinking. Return to breath. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel sleepy in practice, practice. Stand up. Walk slowly. Feel each step. Wakefulness is kindness. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel you have no time to practice, practice. Choose 1 minute. 1 minute of breath is still training. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel disappointment, practice. Say, this happened. I do not deny it. I choose the next wholesome step. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel life is unfair, practice. Return to what you can control. Intention, speech, action, attention. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel trapped by a habit, practice. Do not fight the whole habit. Change one step in the chain. One pause is enough. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel triggered by criticism, practice. Breathe first. Listen for what is useful. Repair or release. Do not replay all night. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel alone on the path, practice. Create wise friendship through teachings and one kind friend. Protect that friendship. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel spiritual despair, practice. Remember, you are a process. Begin again. Small steps change karma. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel obsessed with signs, practice. Return to effort. Signs are not the path. Practice is the path. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel lost in ceremonies, practice. Return to virtue. If speech is harsh, practice right speech. That is Dharma. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you fear death, practice. Use it as a teacher. Do not postpone kindness. Do not postpone practice. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you want to escape pain, practice. Meet pain with mindfulness. Do not use spirituality to bypass truth. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel joy, practice. Enjoy without clinging. Share joy. Let joy become gratitude. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel numb, practice. Return to body sensations gently. Walk, breathe, seek support if needed. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel addicted to scrolling, practice. Reduce 1 hour of noise. Replace with a walk or a page of wise reading. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel your heart hardening, practice. Practice loving kindness, even 1 minute. A wide heart is freedom. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel unworthy, practice. Remember non-self. You are not one label. You can change conditions. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel anger at yourself, practice. Replace cruelty with discipline. Firm and kind. Learn and repair. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel you are not spiritual enough, practice. Return to one act of generosity today. The Dharma is in the heart. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel confused by sect names, practice. Return to what reduces suffering. Virtue, mindfulness, wisdom. Test results. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel pulled into magical thinking, practice. Ask if it increases fear. Then return to breath and ethical action. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When you feel tired of words, practice. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Let experience teach you directly. One breath is enough to change direction. Here is a moment. When someone provokes you online, practice. Do not feed the fire. Close the app. Take 10 breaths. Choose silence or one calm sentence. Then stop. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel addicted to being right, practice. Practice not knowing. Ask one sincere question. Let humility be your strength. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel your partner pulling away, practice. Speak honestly about feelings and needs. Set boundaries without threat. Release the need to control their mind. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel shame in public, practice. Straighten posture. Breathe. Remember, you are a process. Repair what is needed, then release the story. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you make a mistake, practice. Acknowledge quickly. Repair quickly. Learn one lesson. Begin again without self-attack. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel impatience, practice. Slow down on purpose. Feel each step. Let patience train your mind. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel jealousy, practice. Name it as fear wearing a mask. Offer kindness to the fear. Choose honest communication and self-respect. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you cannot sleep, practice. Name the replay as thinking. Soften the jaw. Return to breath. Let the day end. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel lonely, practice. Return to the body. Offer self-kindness. Reach out to one safe person. Do not chase validation through performance. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel overwhelmed, practice. Choose the next smallest step. One task, one breath, one action. Stop trying to solve the whole life at once. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel depressed, practice. Take care of the body first. Water, food, rest, sunlight, gentle movement. Seek support when needed. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel spiritual pride, practice. Serve quietly. Share credit. Measure practice by kindness, not special identity. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel hatred, practice. Protect yourself with boundaries, but refuse poison. Practice loving kindness in small doses. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel stuck in regret, practice. Repair what you can. Learn. Release what cannot be changed. Return to now. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel empty after success, practice. Turn toward meaning. Practice generosity. Use success as a tool, not as identity. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel fear of change, practice. Name fear. Lengthen the exhale. Choose one useful action. Release obsession with certainty. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel tempted to lie, practice. Remember, a clean conscience is peace. Speak truth with care. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel pressured by family expectations, practice. Respect your values. Speak one clear boundary. Stay kind and steady. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel anger rising, practice. Locate it in the body. Heat, tightness. Breathe out longer. Speak later from calm. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel sadness, practice. Allow it without drowning. Name it as sadness. Breathe. Take one gentle action of care. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel shame from the past, practice. Separate identity from action. You did something. You are not that thing. Repair and train. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel tempted to chase rituals for safety, practice. Return to ethics and mindfulness. Do one kind act today. Train the mind today. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel distracted, practice. Choose one object. Breath, feet, hands. Return to it for 1 minute. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel your heart closing, practice. Do one small act of kindness. A wide heart opens through action. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment. When you feel you do not belong, practice. Remember, belonging is built by sincerity and kindness. Practice one honest connection. Return to the next breath. Here is a moment when you feel fear of death. Practice. Use death as teacher. Speak the kind words today. Do not postpone what matters. Return to the next breath. The Buddha taught with stories because stories enter the heart faster than theory. A mother named Kisa Gotami lost her child. Her grief was unbearable. She begged for a cure. She begged for a miracle. The Buddha did not insult her grief. He did not say, "Stop crying, everything is impermanent." He gave her a task. Bring mustard seeds from a home where no one has ever died. She went door to door. Every home had known death. A parent, a child, a friend. As she walked, grief did not vanish, but it widened. It became less lonely. She saw that loss is part of human life. She returned with empty hands, but a mind that had opened. The Buddha did not sell comfort. He opened wisdom, and wisdom allowed grief to breathe. The lesson is not to suppress sorrow. The lesson is to stop fighting reality. When reality is accepted, suffering becomes lighter. A man named Angulimala was feared for violence. People believed he was beyond redemption. The Buddha approached him calmly. Angulimala chased him and could not catch him. Confused, he shouted for the Buddha to stop. The Buddha replied that he had already stopped, but Angulimala had not stopped. Those words pierced the heart. Angulimala saw his own delusion. He laid down his weapon. He changed direction. He practiced sincerely. Consequences did not vanish magically, but the mind changed. The identity of violence was not permanent. The lesson is simple. No one is frozen as oneself. You are a stream of conditions. Change conditions, and you change the stream. This is why the Buddha's path is hope and responsibility together. Now let us practice together, because listening alone is not the road. Sit comfortably. Let the body be supported. Bring attention to the breath. Breathing in. Know you are breathing in. Breathing out. Know you are breathing out. Thoughts will arise. Stories will arise. Do not fight. Do not obey. Name it softly. Thinking. Then return to breath. Each return is training. Each return is a step on the path. Now let us practice loving kindness, because wisdom without kindness can become dry. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I be free. Now bring to mind someone you love. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you be free. Now a neutral person. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be healthy. May you be free. Now someone difficult. Not to approve harm, only to release hatred. May you be free from the ignorance that causes harm. May you learn. May you not harm others. Now all beings. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Rest for a few breaths. A wide heart is less easily trapped. If you are finding value in these reflections, you can support Buddha Peaceful Mind with a gentle like or by sharing this talk with someone who is tired of confusion. Sometimes one lantern arrives exactly when a heart is ready. Now let us make a simple plan that turns this talk into real change. A 7-day return to the core. Day 1, the pause. 1 breath before speaking. 1 breath before replying. 1 breath before judging. Day 2, right speech. Less gossip, less harshness, more truth with care. Day 3, right action. Reduce harm, choose integrity, repair quickly when you fail. Day 4, mindfulness. 5 minutes of breath. Return again and again. Day 5, contentment. Name 3 supports. Practice enough. Day 6, generosity. 1 small act of giving without needing credit. Day 7, loving kindness. A few minutes wishing well for yourself and others. This is not dramatic, but it is powerful because it is repeatable. A 30-day path can deepen it. Days 1 to 10, train the pause. Days 11 to 20, train speech and repair. Days 21 to 30, train mindfulness and kindness daily. After 30 days, you will not be perfect, but you will be different. And different is progress. Before closing, remember the 5 recollections many practitioners keep close. I am of the nature to grow old. I cannot escape aging. I am of the nature to become ill. I cannot escape illness. I am of the nature to die. I cannot escape death. Everything I love will change, and I will be separated from much of it. My actions are my true inheritance. Whatever I do, I will inherit. These recollections are not meant to depress you. They clarify you. They cut through spiritual games. They remind you that today matters. So do not waste today on superstition and fear. Do not waste today on empty performance. Use today for kindness. Use today for honesty. Use today for practice. Now let the final message be simple. The Dharma is not a costume. It is not a business. It is not a threat. It is not a promise of magical rescue. The Dharma is a path of waking up. A path of virtue, mindfulness, and wisdom. A path that ends suffering by changing the mind. A path you must walk yourself. So whenever you feel lost, return to the next step. 1 breath. 1 wholesome action. 1 kind sentence. 1 honest repair. 1 moment of mindfulness. That is the road. Thank you for spending this time with Buddha Peaceful Mind. May your mind be clear. May your heart be gentle. May your practice be real. And may you walk the path that leads out of suffering, step by step, breath by breath. Now let us go deeper, because returning to the core is not only a feeling, it is a discipline. It is also discernment. The Buddha repeatedly encouraged people to test the teaching through experience, not to accept blindly, not to reject blindly, to practice, observe, and know. If a teaching reduces greed, it is moving toward freedom. If a teaching reduces hatred, it is moving toward freedom. If a teaching reduces delusion, it is moving toward freedom. If a teaching increases fear, dependence, and confusion, be careful. If a teaching inflames arrogance and superiority, be careful. If a teaching turns you into a machine of rituals while your heart stays hard, be careful. This is a simple compass. You can use it anywhere, in any tradition, in any community. The compass is the mind. The result is your life. Now let us speak about faith in a clean way. Faith in the Buddha's path is not blind belief. It is confidence based on testing. You practice one breath before reacting, and you see that peace increases. You practice truthful speech, and you see that the mind becomes lighter. You practice generosity, and you see that the heart becomes warmer. You practice mindfulness, and you see the second arrow more clearly. This evidence becomes confidence. This confidence is not superstition. It is the confidence of experience. So if you have been hurt by religion, do not throw away the possibility of wisdom. Just return to the Buddha's original spirit. Test and see. Practice and know. Now let us speak about why people love the supernatural. Often it is because reality is painful. A miracle feels easier than a transformation. But the Buddha's compassion is stronger than miracles. It gives you the ability to transform the source of suffering. If someone offers you comfort without change, it feels sweet, but the sweetness fades and the same suffering returns. If someone offers you a path of training, it feels hard at first, but the fruit grows and does not depend on luck. So when you feel tempted by magical promises, ask one question. Is this making me more awake, more ethical, more kind? Or is this making me more dependent and afraid? This one question can save your life. Now let us return to mindfulness, because mindfulness is the lamp that cuts through both fogs. The Buddha taught 4 foundations of mindfulness. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of feelings, mindfulness of mind states, mindfulness of patterns and teachings. Mindfulness of the body keeps you in the present. Feel the breath, feel the feet, feel posture, feel movement. The body is always now. The story mind is often yesterday or tomorrow. Mindfulness of feelings means you know pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral experience. You stop being hypnotized. You stop chasing pleasant blindly. You stop running from unpleasant blindly. You learn to stay present. Mindfulness of mind states means you recognize, is there desire now? Is there anger now? Is there restlessness now? Is there dullness now? Is there doubt now? You name it without shame. Naming creates space. Mindfulness of patterns means you see chains. A thought leads to a feeling. A feeling leads to speech. Speech leads to action. Action leads to consequence. When you see the chain, you can cut it earlier. This is liberation in daily life. Here is a simple mindfulness practice you can use anytime. Stop. Feel your feet. Take one slow breath. Name what is here. Craving is here, or anger is here, or fear is here, or shame is here. Then ask one question. What is the most wholesome next step? Then do one small thing, one kind sentence, one boundary, one apology, One moment of silence, one glass of water, one short walk, one task done slowly. This is the path. Simple, real, repeatable. Now let us speak about the 5 hindrances, because many seekers think they are failing when these appear. Desire, ill will, sloth and dullness, restlessness and worry, doubt. These are not sins, they are conditions. When desire is strong, the mind is pulled outward. It cannot rest, it seeks more. When ill will is strong, the heart becomes hot. It wants revenge, it wants to punish. When sloth is strong, the mind becomes heavy. It avoids truth. It becomes numb. When restlessness is strong, the mind becomes scattered. It cannot stay with one thing. It jumps. It worries. When doubt is strong, the mind becomes stuck. It asks endless questions, but avoids practice. The Buddha taught to recognize these conditions and apply medicine. For desire, practice contentment with something simple. Drink water mindfully. Eat slowly for 3 bites. Notice that craving is never satisfied. For ill will, practice loving kindness in small doses, not to excuse harm, to release poison. For sloth, adjust the body. Open the eyes. Stand. Walk meditation. Bring fresh air. For restlessness, slow down. Lengthen the exhale. Feel the feet. Choose one task. For doubt, test one small practice for 7 days. Evidence builds confidence. This is skillful training. Now let us speak about right speech, because right speech is where Dharma becomes visible. Many people chant for hours, but speak harshly in the next moment. Then they wonder why peace does not grow. Speech is karma. Speech shapes the mind. Speech shapes relationships. Speech shapes the future. The Buddha encouraged speech that is true, kind, helpful, and timely. Before speaking, ask, is it true? Is it kind? Is it helpful? Is it timely? If it is true but not kind, it becomes a weapon. If it is kind but not true, it becomes confusion. If it is true and kind but not timely, it can still harm. If it is helpful but not true, it becomes manipulation. So train one breath before speech. That breath is the door. A small daily vow can change your life. Today I will not gossip. Today I will not exaggerate to impress. Today I will not use harsh tone. Today I will repair quickly if I fail. Do this for 30 days and see. The mind becomes cleaner. Relationships become softer. The heart becomes less heavy. This is Dharma. Here is a story about right speech. A man was known as spiritual. He attended ceremonies. He wore symbols. He quoted teachings. But at home, he spoke with contempt. He used sarcasm as a knife. He used silence as punishment. One day his partner said, "Your words hurt more than your rituals heal." The man felt angry. The ego wanted to defend, but a seed of truth entered him. He began practicing one breath before speaking. He began practicing one sentence of repair. "I am sorry. That was harsh." Let me try again. At first, it felt humiliating. Then it felt freeing. He discovered a secret. Humility is light. Pride is heavy. His home became warmer, and his practice became real. The lesson is simple. If Dharma does not enter speech, it remains theory. Now let us speak about right livelihood, because confusion often grows when people separate spirituality from work. The Buddha did not teach that practice happens only on cushions or in temples. He included livelihood, because how you earn money shapes the mind. If you earn through deception, the mind becomes anxious. If you earn through exploitation, the heart becomes hard. If you earn through harm, the mind becomes restless. Right livelihood does not mean a perfect job. It means direction. Reduce harm where you can. Speak truthfully where you can. Be fair where you can. Do not feed cruelty and gossip at work. Take one mindful breath before a difficult meeting. Treat people as human. This is how Dharma becomes daily. Here is a story about being lost in endless words. A scholar visited a teacher and asked for teachings. He spoke for a long time about what he knew. He quoted books. He argued about views. The teacher poured tea into the scholar's cup. The cup filled and overflowed. The scholar said, "Stop, it is full." The teacher said, "Your mind is like this cup. If it is full, nothing new can enter." The meaning is not to reject learning. The meaning is to practice humility, to let the mind become empty enough to be changed. So if you have listened to many talks, choose one small practice and do it. That is how you empty the cup. Here is a story about control. A person was trapped in a finger trap. The more they pulled, the tighter it became. They panicked and pulled harder. More pain. Someone said, "Stop pulling. Move your fingers inward and relax." Then it loosens. Clinging is like that trap. The more you pull against reality, the tighter suffering becomes. When you soften and accept what is here, wisdom appears. This is not giving up. This is skillful action. You stop fighting what cannot be changed. Then you can act wisely within what is possible. Here is a story about patience. A farmer planted bamboo seeds. For years, nothing appeared. People laughed and said, "You are wasting time." But the farmer continued. He watered, he protected, he waited. In the 5th year, bamboo grew rapidly. But it did not begin in the 5th year. It was building roots the whole time. Practice is like this. You may not see results quickly, but roots are growing. Awareness is growing. Integrity is growing. Patience is growing. So do not quit because you do not see fireworks. The Buddha's path is quiet, but it is deep. Here is a story about carrying resentment. A teacher asked students to write the names of people they could not forgive on potatoes. They carried the potatoes in a bag everywhere. Days passed and the potatoes rotted. The smell became unbearable. The teacher said resentment is like this bag. It rots inside you. It does not punish the other person. It poisons you. Forgiveness is not approving harm. It is putting the bag down, keeping the lesson, releasing the poison. Here is a story about the river and the monks. 2 monks saw a woman afraid to cross a river. One monk carried her across and set her down. Later, the other monk was still angry. He said we should not have touched her. The first monk said, "I put her down at the river. Why are you still carrying her?" This is the mind. We put an event down, or we carry it for hours, days, years. The Buddha's path teaches you to put it down, not by denial, by mindfulness. Now let us answer common questions, because clarity protects practice. Listen slowly. Let one answer enter deeply. Then choose one small practice. Question. I feel overwhelmed by so many teachings. Where do I start? Answer. Start with the Four Noble Truths and one small daily practice. 1 breath before speech. 1 act of kindness. 5 minutes of mindfulness. Test the result in your life. The Buddha's path begins with what reduces suffering today, not with collecting everything. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. Do I need rituals to practice Buddhism? Answer. Rituals can support practice if they train the mind. If they become performance or bargaining, they distract. If you chant, chant mindfully. If you bow, bow as humility. Then carry that humility into speech and action. Practice is not the ritual itself. Practice is the transformation it supports. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. Is it wrong to ask for blessings? Answer. It is human to want protection. The question is, what you rely on. The Buddha emphasized causes. A clean conscience, mindful awareness, and kindness are powerful protections. You can still pray, but let prayer become an intention to practice, not a trade for luck. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. Why do people turn Dharma into superstition? Answer. Because fear is heavy and people want quick comfort. Superstition promises control without inner change. The Buddha offered a harder compassion. He offered a path that changes the mind. It takes effort, but it leads to real freedom. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. How do I know if a teacher is trustworthy? Answer. Look at conduct. Look at whether you become more kind, more honest, more responsible. A safe teacher encourages independence and questions. A dangerous teacher increases fear and dependence and uses money or status as control. The Buddha compared wise testing to testing gold. Examine carefully. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. What is the core of the Buddha's teaching in 1 line? Answer. Do not cling. See clearly. Reduce harm. Train the mind. This is the heart of liberation. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. If everything is impermanent, why practice? Answer. Because impermanence makes each moment precious. Practice is not to freeze life. Practice is to meet change with wisdom. A trained mind suffers less and harms less. That is a beautiful reason. Take 1 breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question. I feel guilty about my past. Can I still practice? Answer. Yes. The path is begin again. Acknowledge harm. repair where possible, commit to different action, and train daily. Shame is not required. Integrity is the medicine. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I avoid spiritual pride? Answer: measure progress by reduced greed, reduced hatred, reduced delusion. Serve quietly. Return to beginner mind. Pride is a costume. Humility is protection. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what is the biggest mistake people make on the path? Answer: they search outside for rescue while avoiding inner change. The Buddha offered a path you must walk. Hearing is not arriving. Practice is arriving. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: is the mind really trainable? Answer: yes. You have already trained it through habits. The Buddha's path trains it intentionally. Small repetitions create a new mind. One breath before reaction, repeated for 30 days, changes your life. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I deal with anger? Answer: see it early in the body. Heat, tightness, shallow breath. Pause. Breathe out longer. Do not speak from heat. Choose boundaries without poison. Drop the burning coal. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I deal with grief? Answer: do not deny grief. Let it be present. Hold it with breath. Remember impermanence without becoming cold. Ask, what would love do now? Grief can become wisdom. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I practice when life is busy? Answer: practice in small moments. One mindful breath before opening your phone. 3 mindful bites at a meal. 1 minute of walking awareness. The path is built from ordinary moments. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what if I keep failing? Answer: failure is part of training. The practice is repair and begin again. Each return is strength. Do not demand perfection. Demand sincerity. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: does Buddhism teach that someone else can save me? Answer: the Buddha emphasized self-effort supported by wise friendship. Teachers can guide, but no one can walk for you. Liberation is your own seeing. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I stop overthinking? Answer: return to body. Feel feet, lengthen, exhale. Choose one useful action. Overthinking often tries to control the future. The cure is presence and one next step. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: can I practice without joining an organization? Answer: yes. The Buddha's path is a way of living. Virtue, mindfulness, and wisdom can be practiced anywhere. Community can support, but the core is your daily conduct. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what is the role of meditation? Answer: meditation trains attention and reveals the mind. It helps you see the second arrow forming. But meditation must be supported by ethical living, or it becomes unstable. Combine virtue and mindfulness. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: why do some people practice for years and not change? Answer: because they practice forms without touching habits. If speech stays harsh, if greed stays strong, if hatred stays alive, the root is untouched. Return to the trainings. Change what you repeat. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I know I am progressing? Answer: you react less. You repair faster. You gossip less. You become more honest. You accept change with less panic. You can hold boundaries without hatred. Progress is visible in daily life. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what is the simplest daily plan? Answer: morning intention, daytime pause, evening reflection. One intention to reduce harm. One mindful breath before reaction. 1 minute reviewing what helped and what harmed. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I work with desire and craving? Answer: notice craving as a wave. Delay one impulse by 10 breaths. Practice contentment with something simple. Remember that craving promises satisfaction and then returns hungry. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I work with doubt? Answer: test one practice for 7 days. Evidence builds confidence. Doubt often hides fear. Practice is the answer. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I keep compassion while setting boundaries? Answer: compassion does not mean access. You can wish well and still say no. You can protect yourself without hatred. This is strong compassion. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: is non-self the same as not caring? Answer: no. Non-self means not clinging to a fixed identity. It can make love cleaner, not colder. You care without owning. You help without building ego. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what should I do when I feel spiritually dry? Answer: return to kindness and service. Do one small act of generosity. Sit for 5 minutes. Let simplicity refresh the heart. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what if my family mocks my practice? Answer: keep it quiet and steady. Let your character change be the teaching. Do not fight. Practice patience and right speech. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: how do I practice in conflict? Answer: pause. Ask if you want to win or understand. Speak truth with kindness. Repair when wrong. Hold boundaries calmly. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Question: what is the ultimate purpose of this path? Answer: freedom from greed, hatred, and delusion. A heart that can love without clinging. A mind that can see without fear. A life that reduces suffering. Take one breath and let this become practice, not only an idea. Now let us offer a longer closing meditation. Sit comfortably. Feel the ground supporting you. Breathing in, I arrive. Breathing out, I soften. Breathing in, I recognize what is here. Breathing out, I release the second arrow. Breathing in, I choose responsibility without self-blame. Breathing out, I let go of what I cannot control. Breathing in, I do the next wholesome step. Breathing out, I release obsession with results. Breathing in, I open the heart. Breathing out, I wish well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May the people I love be safe. May they be peaceful. May they be free. May the people I struggle with be free from the ignorance that causes harm. May they learn. May they not harm others. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Rest for a few breaths. This is the Dharma as medicine, not a performance, a direction. Now let us speak about ritual in a clean and practical way, because many hearts are confused here. The Buddha did not reject forms. He rejected clinging. A form can be a doorway when it trains the mind. A form becomes a fog when it replaces the mind. If you chant, chant as mindfulness. Hear the sound. Feel the breath. When the mind wanders, return to sound. Let chanting become concentration. If you bow, bow as humility. Let pride soften for one moment. Then stand and carry humility into how you speak to your family. If you light incense, remember impermanence. Smoke rises, smoke disappears. Life changes. So do not waste today on hatred. If you offer flowers, remember they will fade. Use beauty to remember gratitude. Do not use beauty to create attachment. If you visit a temple, let it remind you of virtue. Leave with one vow. Less harsh speech, less gossip, more honesty, more kindness. When you practice like this, forms become supports. They do not become substitutes. This is the middle way with ritual. Now let us speak about karma in a clean and fearless way. Karma means action, body action, speech action, mind action. The Buddha did not use karma to threaten people. He used it to empower people. Your actions shape your mind. Your mind shapes your life. Your habits shape your future. If you speak harshly every day, the mind becomes a harsh place to live. If you lie often, the mind becomes anxious and distrustful. If you practice generosity, the heart becomes warmer. If you practice restraint, the mind becomes calmer. If you practice mindfulness, you see the chain earlier and you suffer less. Karma is not a cosmic punishment machine. It is the simple truth that repetition creates character. Character creates destiny. So stop asking, what will happen to me? Start asking, what am I creating now? This question returns you to the path. Now let us speak about non-self in a way that feels human. The Buddha taught that what we call a self is not a fixed, independent controller. It is a changing process. Body changes, feelings change, thoughts change, identity changes. Non-self does not mean nothing matters. It means you stop clinging to a rigid identity. And when you stop clinging, you become freer. You can admit mistakes without collapsing. You can receive criticism without panic. You can let go of an image without feeling like you died. Non-self also makes compassion easier, because you see that others are also streams of conditions. They are shaped by fear, pain, and habits. This does not excuse harm, but it reduces hatred, and hatred is still suffering. So wisdom and compassion walk together. Now let us practice again with the body, because the body is the fastest teacher. Bring attention to the forehead. Soften it. Bring attention to the eyes. Soften. Bring attention to the jaw. Soften. Bring attention to the shoulders. Lower them slightly. Bring attention to the chest. Let it soften. Bring attention to the belly. Let it soften. Bring attention to the hands. Unclench. Now take 3 slow breaths. Longer exhale. This is not a performance. This is nervous system wisdom. A calm body supports a calm mind. A calm mind supports clear seeing. Now a short, mindful eating practice. Before the first bite, pause. Look at the food. Remember that this meal came through many hands and many conditions. Earth, rain, sun, farmers, workers, cooks. Take 1 breath. Now take 3 bites slowly. Notice taste. Notice texture. Notice the urge to hurry. The mind often rushes. It wants more, faster. It eats without presence. So mindful eating trains contentment. It trains gratitude. It trains the ability to stay with one simple moment. Carry this presence into the next action. Walking, speaking, listening. This is how small practices become a new life. Now a short walking meditation. If you are able, stand and walk slowly. If you cannot walk, imagine the movement. 1 step, no 1 step. 1 breath, no 1 breath. Feel the heel. Feel the sole. Feel the toes. The mind loves speed. Speed feeds the ego. Speed feeds restlessness. Slow walking is medicine. It trains presence. It trains patience. It trains a life that does not need to prove. Even 10 steps are enough. Now a few more questions, because many minds want clarity before commitment. Listen, and then practice one small thing. Question: what if I still love miracles and sacred stories? Answer: you can enjoy stories as inspiration, but do not build dependence on them. Ask what the story is teaching you to practice. If a story makes you kinder, more honest, and more mindful, it can be helpful. If it makes you fearful, dependent, and obsessed with signs, it becomes fog. The Buddha's path asks for direct seeing. So let stories point you toward practice, not away from it. Question: how do I balance respect for tradition with discernment? Answer: respect is beautiful, and discernment is necessary. You can respect elders and still test teachings. You can honor culture and still return to the core trainings. If something reduces harm, increases integrity, and opens the heart, it is valuable. If something increases fear, greed, or cruelty, step back. Respect does not mean surrendering your mind. Question: what if my community pressures me into rituals I do not understand? Answer: be gentle and honest. You can participate respectfully while focusing on mindfulness and intention. You can also choose boundaries. Say, I am practicing in my own way. The Buddha praised sincerity. You do not need to perform to belong. Let your practice be quiet and steady. Question: how do I know if I am practicing for ego or for freedom? Answer: look at your motivation. Ego practice seeks praise, identity, and superiority. Freedom practice seeks reduced suffering and reduced harm. Another test is the result. After practice, are you kinder? Are you less reactive? Do you repair faster? Do you gossip less? If yes, practice is real. Question: why do I feel more anxious after spiritual content? Answer: some content increases fear, pressure, and comparison. It can trigger the nervous system. The Buddha's teaching should reduce fear and increase clarity. If content makes you anxious, step back. Return to breath, ethical living, and gentle practice. Choose sources that lead to calm and compassion. Question: what if I cannot meditate? Answer: start smaller. 1 minute of breath, or 1 mindful walk, or 3 mindful bites. Meditation is training attention. It begins with returning, not with having a blank mind. If you can return once, you have already begun. Question: what if I feel spiritually dry and empty? Answer: return to virtue and service. Do 1 act of generosity. Speak 1 kind sentence. Clean up 1 area of speech. Dryness often comes when practice is only ideas. Action warms the heart. Question: what if I keep falling into old habits? Answer: that is normal. Habits are strong. The path is begin again. Each return builds strength. Do not demand a perfect mind. Demand a sincere return. Over time, the gap between trigger and reaction grows. Question: how do I practice when I live with difficult people? Answer: protect yourself with boundaries. Practice right speech and silence when needed. Do not feed hatred, because hatred burns you. Use the situation as training. 1 breath before speaking, 1 sentence less, 1 act of patience. Also seek wise support when possible. Question: is it okay to enjoy a peaceful temple atmosphere? Answer: yes. Peaceful places can support the mind. The key is to bring the peace home. Let the atmosphere inspire daily practice. If peace stays only in the temple, it becomes escape. If peace enters speech and conduct, it becomes liberation. Question: how do I work with fear-based karma teaching? Answer: return to karma as action and habit. Fear does not purify. Understanding purifies. Choose one wholesome action now. Reduce harm now. Repair now. Train mindfulness now. This is how karma changes. Question: what is the role of compassion in wisdom? Answer: wisdom without compassion can become cold and arrogant. Compassion without wisdom can become enabling and naive. The Buddha taught both. Keep boundaries and keep a warm heart. Protect yourself without hatred. That is strong compassion. Question: how do I find the right balance between effort and letting go? Answer: effort is doing the next wise step. Letting go is releasing obsession with results. You row the boat, but you do not control the whole river. Act wisely, then release the demand for certainty. Question: why do I feel guilty when I rest? Answer: the mind may be trained by pressure and self-worth based on productivity. Rest is not laziness. Rest is care for the body so the mind can be clear. The middle way includes rest. A tired nervous system creates more suffering. Question: how can I practice in one sentence? Answer: feel one breath, then choose one wholesome step. This is the whole path in daily life. Question: what if I feel anger toward religious hypocrisy? Answer: discernment is wise, but hatred is still poison. Protect the Dharma by practicing it. Speak truthfully when needed, but do not let anger become your identity. Let your own conduct be the correction. Question: how do I keep practice from becoming another addiction? Answer: keep it simple. Practice to reduce suffering, not to build identity. Return to humility and service. Avoid chasing dramatic experiences. Measure progress by daily kindness and integrity. Question: can I practice without believing in anything supernatural? Answer: yes. The Buddha's path is practical. It focuses on suffering, its causes, and its end through training. You can practice ethics, mindfulness, and wisdom without supernatural belief. Question: what if I feel I need a savior? Answer: it is human to want rescue, but the Buddha's deepest gift is to show you your own capacity. Begin with one small practice and see that you can change. Confidence grows through evidence. Question: how do I transform knowledge into wisdom? Answer: choose one teaching and apply it. One breath before speech. One day of no gossip. One act of generosity daily for a week. Wisdom is knowledge that has entered your habits. If you would like to keep returning to this kind of grounded practice, you can stay with Buddha Peaceful Mind, not to collect more ideas, but to remember the next step and begin again. Now let us walk through a full day of practice, because many people ask, how do I live this teaching from morning to night? Morning. Before you touch the phone, take 3 breaths. Feel the body. Feel the weight of your life returning. Then set one intention. May I reduce harm today. May I speak kindly today. May I be mindful today. Then when you wash your face, feel the water. When you brush your teeth, feel the hand moving. When you eat breakfast, take 3 mindful bites. Do not rush. If your mind runs, return to taste. This is already practice. Midday. At work or at school, practice 1 breath before the first message you send. 1 breath before the first meeting. Feel the urge to impress. Feel the urge to defend. Then soften and speak from clarity. When stress rises, return to the body. Shoulders, jaw, breath. Name it. Stress is here. Then choose 1 useful action, 1 task, 1 clear priority, 1 boundary. Then release the fantasy of controlling everything. When you eat lunch, practice gratitude, not as a performance, just as seeing conditions. Food came from earth and many hands. This softens the ego. Afternoon. Notice the mind after energy drops. This is where irritability grows. Practice patience. Speak 1 sentence less. Walk for 2 minutes if you can. Feel the feet. Let the mind settle. When someone criticizes you, pause. Breathe. Ask what is useful. Repair what is true. Release the rest. Do not replay it for hours. This is how the second arrow is removed. Evening. When you return home, practice 1 ritual of presence. Before speaking, take 1 breath. If family tension appears, do not enter the old drama immediately. Choose right speech. Truth with care. Boundaries without poison. Before sleep, reflect for 1 minute. What created peace today? What created suffering today? What is 1 small improvement tomorrow? Then forgive yourself. Not to excuse harm, to release endless self-attack. Commit to repair where needed. Then let the day end. This day is not perfect, but if you practice it, the mind becomes different. And a different mind creates a different life. Now let us speak about a common trap. Some people use Dharma to avoid pain. They say, everything is empty, so my grief does not matter. They say, karma will handle it, so I do not need boundaries. They say, I am spiritual, so I should not feel anger. This is not the Buddha's way. The Buddha taught direct seeing. See pain as pain. See anger as anger. See fear as fear. Then choose wise action. The goal is not to pretend you have no wounds. The goal is to stop being controlled by wounds. And that happens through mindfulness, ethics, and compassion. So be very gentle with your humanity and be very honest with your patterns. That balance is the path. Now a few more questions to steady the mind. Listen slowly and let 1 answer become 1 practice. Question: why does the mind prefer complicated systems? Answer: because complexity can hide avoidance. If you are busy collecting systems, you may avoid looking at your own anger, your own craving, your own habits. The Buddha's path is simple, and simple requires honesty. Simplicity brings you back to your own mind. That can feel uncomfortable at first, but it is liberation. Question: what if I have trauma and mindfulness is hard? Answer. Start with safety. Use the body gently. Short practices, grounding through feet and breath for a few seconds. Seek skilled support if needed. The Buddha's path includes compassion. For trauma, compassion may mean slow steps and support. Do not force. Train gently. Question. Is it okay to question teachings? Answer. Yes. Wise questioning protects you. The Buddha encouraged testing. Question with humility, not arrogance. Ask, does this reduce suffering? Then practice and observe. Questions become wisdom when they lead to practice. Question. How do I stop feeling judged by spiritual people? Answer. Remember that their judgments are their mind states. Protect yourself with boundaries. Do not build your identity on their approval. Return to your own practice. The Buddha's path is inside your conduct, not inside other people's opinions. Question. What if I want to help others, but they do not change? Answer. You can point, but you cannot walk for them. Share gently. Do not force. Plant seeds. Remember, the day you plant is not the day you harvest. Keep your own practice steady. Let your life be the teaching. Question. How do I avoid turning Dharma into another identity? Answer. Practice quietly. Serve quietly. Measure progress by reduced harm. Keep beginner mind. When you feel proud, return to humility and kindness. Identity is heavy. Practice is light. Question. What if I feel angry at the world's injustice? Answer. Let anger become energy for wise action, not hatred. Protect the heart from bitterness. Choose one concrete, helpful action. Speak truth with care. Vote with your life by being ethical and compassionate. Hatred will not heal injustice. Question. How do I deal with spiritual loneliness? Answer. Seek wise friendship. One kind friend can be enough. Join spaces that encourage humility and practice, not performance. Also learn to be a friend to yourself. The Buddha spoke of refuge. Refuge includes inner refuge. Question. Can I be happy without chasing more? Answer. Yes. Contentment is not boredom. It is freedom from endless hunger. Joy becomes simpler and cleaner. Gratitude becomes natural. You still grow and act, but you do not poison action with comparison. Question. Why is generosity so emphasized? Answer. Because generosity directly weakens clinging. It opens the fist of mine. It widens the heart. It reduces fear. It creates connection. It is one of the fastest ways to make practice real. Question. What if I feel I need proof of the path? Answer. Use small experiments. 1 week of right speech. 1 week of the pause. 1 week of generosity. Observe the mind. The proof is in reduced suffering and increased clarity. Question. How do I practice when I feel angry with myself? Answer. Be firm and kind. Cruelty is not discipline. Discipline is choosing a wiser action. Say, I see the mistake. I will repair. I will train. Then begin again. This is mature practice. Question. What if I feel stuck between doubt and belief? Answer. Return to testing. Practice is the bridge. You do not need to believe everything. You need to practice what reduces suffering and observe results. Confidence grows naturally from experience. Question: how do I bring Dharma into parenting? Answer: practice the pause. Repair quickly when you fail. Speak with respect. Model honesty. Teach children that emotions can be felt without harming others. Your calm is a gift. Your humility is a gift. Question: how do I bring Dharma into love? Answer: love without chains. Speak honestly. Set boundaries without threat. Release control over another mind. Practice kindness daily. Let love be a practice of non-clinging, not a place for possession. Now let us close with a dedication. May any understanding from this talk become practice. May any practice reduce harm. May less harm become more peace. May more peace become more compassion. May compassion support the freedom of many beings. And remember, you will forget. You will react. You will fall into old patterns. That is human. The practice is simple. Begin again. Beginning again is not failure. Beginning again is the path. Here is one more story, because many people drown in concepts. A person stood by the ocean and wanted to cross to the other shore. They began counting waves. They studied wave patterns. They argued about which wave was the most important. They wrote notes about waves. Days passed. They never entered the water. Another person stood by the ocean, built a simple raft, and began to cross. The waves were still there, but they moved. The first person had information. The second person had practice. This is the Dharma. Do not only count waves, step into practice. Now let us do a deeper practice for the second arrow, because this is where freedom becomes real. Bring to mind a recent painful moment, a criticism, a rejection, a disappointment, a conflict. Notice the first arrow. What happened? Name it simply. This happened. Now notice the second arrow. What is the mind adding? Replay, blame, self-attack, revenge fantasy, fear story. Name it softly. Second arrow. Now choose to remove one piece. Not all, one piece. Release the replay for 10 breaths. If the mind returns, release again. Feel the body. Soften the jaw. Lower the shoulders. Unclench the hands. Now ask, what is the most wholesome next step? Maybe you need a boundary. Maybe you need an apology. Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need to speak one honest sentence. Maybe you need to let the situation pass. Choose one. Do it gently. Now return to breath. This is how the Buddha's path works. Not through magic, through clear seeing and wise action. Each time you remove one second arrow, your mind becomes freer. Now let us end with 3 simple reflections that keep the core close. First, what am I feeding today? Fear or clarity? Hatred or compassion? Greed or contentment? Second, what is one harm I can reduce today? One harsh word I can stop. One lie I can stop. One gossip story I can stop. Third, what is one kindness I can offer today? To myself, to someone near, to a stranger. If you live these 3 reflections, you will not need to memorize many books. Your life will become the Dharma. And if you choose to keep listening to teachings here, let it be for one reason: to remember practice, to remember the breath, to remember that you can begin again. Thank you for walking with Buddha Peaceful Mind. Now let us close with a longer meditation you can return to any day. Sit comfortably. Let the body be supported. Feel the ground under you. Bring attention to breath. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Now scan the body gently. Forehead, soften. Eyes, soften. Jaw, soften. Shoulders, lower them slightly. Chest, soften. Belly, soften. Hands, unclench. Now notice the mind. Is it restless? Is it heavy? Is it sharp? Is it tired? Name it softly. Restless, or heavy, or sharp, or tired. Do not fight. Do not judge. Just know. Now return to breath. Breathing in, I arrive. Breathing out, I soften. Now bring to mind one place where you feel confused on the path. Too many voices, too many demands, too much fear, too much pressure. Hold it gently, as if you hold a small bird in your hands. Not too tight, not too loose. Now say inside, I return to the core, virtue, mindfulness, wisdom. Now choose one vow for tomorrow, only one. I will pause before speaking, or I will not gossip, or I will apologize quickly, or I will practice 5 minutes of breath, or I will do one act of generosity. Hold that vow gently, not as ego pressure, as compassion for your life. Now let the heart open. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be free from unnecessary suffering. May I be free from greed. May I be free from hatred. May I be free from delusion. Now bring to mind a person you love. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be free. Now bring to mind a neutral person. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be free. Now bring to mind a difficult person, only if it feels safe to do so. You are not approving harm. You are releasing poison from your own heart. May you be free from the ignorance that causes harm. May you learn. May you not harm others. Now let the wish widen. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. Rest for a few breaths. Now practice equanimity. Life changes. Bodies change. Moods change. Circumstances change. Say inside, this too will change. I will do my best. I will not cling. I will not hate. I will begin again. Now take 3 slow breaths. Longer exhale. Let the mind settle. When you are ready, remember one final truth. The Buddha did not ask you to believe in the perfect word. He asked you to walk the path that ends suffering. One breath, one wholesome step, one repair, one act of kindness. That is enough. That is the road. Thank you for being here, and please remember this. You will forget. You will react. You will chase signs. You will fall into old habits. That is not proof you are failing. It is proof you are human. The path is not a straight line. The path is a return. Return to breath. Return to the body. Return to kindness. Return to truth. Return to the next wholesome step. Each return is a small liberation. May your practice be steady. May your heart be soft. May your wisdom be clear. May you walk without fear. If this talk helped you, keep it simple. Save one sentence in your heart, one breath, one wholesome step. And if you wish, stay connected with Buddha Peaceful Mind, so these reminders can meet you again on the days you need them most.